I came to Shouse Law Group because I was cited for a DUI. They had me with a .13 and a .14 on a breathalyzer, so it was a hard case. The jury deliberated for at least 3 hours, and they came back with an acquittal on the first count, and on the second count, the judge ultimately dismissed the case.
Have you been charged with DUI? We've assembled a team of attorneys who are dedicated to fighting your DUI case in order to achieve a reduction or a dismissal. Call us and let's see what we can do to help you.
As a former deputy DA, I prosecuted literally thousands of DUI cases. Every day I sat in court and I watched people come in and plead guilty, get a criminal record, lose their driving privileges, sometimes go to jail in cases where the evidence was very weak. I realized that many of these people with the right legal defense could have fought their cases successfully. That's why I resigned from the DA's office and created Shouse Law Group.
Many people think if they blow above a .08 or their blood test comes in at above the limit, that's the end of the story. Machines don't lie, numbers don't lie, the only thing left for you to do is plead guilty and take your licks. Well, let me tell you, that's not always the case. Many people get their DUI charges reduced or dismissed, even when their BAC registers above the legal limit.
I was a DUI enforcement officer for over 13 years. During that time, I arrested over 1,000 people for driving under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs. I wrote the reports, I collected the evidence, I testified in court, and I put those cases together from beginning to end. I can tell you this, almost always the cops get it wrong. Many of them are not properly trained, they do not follow proper procedures in DUI investigations, they are sloppy, they make mistakes, consequently, they arrest a lot of people for DUI that are simply not intoxicated. As a former DUI enforcement officer, it is my job to look at your DUI case with a fine-tooth comb. I will identify where the cops got it wrong, and I will use their mistakes to fight your case in court.
Just as cops have a tendency to get it wrong, so does a breathalyzer. Did you know that police and crime labs are required to maintain breath machines a certain way? And often that doesn't happen. Did you know that people with diabetes or people who are on a low-carb diet can register a BAC reading even if they have had nothing to drink? Did you know that medical conditions such as heartburn and acid reflux can fool the machine into registering a much higher BAC than you actually have? Here at Shouse Law Group, we never take the breathalyzer reading at face value. We pick the breath test apart to find out where things went wrong.
Nor do we ever take blood test results at face value. In every DUI case where our clients gave blood, we have that blood sample reanalyzed by a different laboratory. Sometimes we get a different reading. Sometimes we find out the blood sample was contaminated after it was collected. Phlebotomists, crime labs, and blood sample analysts make mistakes all the time, and it's our job to catch them.
A person arrested for DUI really has two cases, the criminal case in court and the DMV hearing. A lot of lawyers pay very little attention to that DMV hearing. They do the hearing by phone, they don't really prepare, they don't take it very seriously. That is a huge missed opportunity because the DMV hearing is not just about trying to save your driver's license. It's really a dress rehearsal for the court case. We can use that DMV hearing to get a hold of key evidence even before the prosecutor gets it. We can bring in the cop that arrested you to the DMV hearing and grill them about everything they did wrong in the investigation. Then we can get a transcript of that testimony and take it to the prosecutor or judge. When we get a great result on a DUI case at court, it's almost always by virtue of the hard work we put in at the DMV hearing.
Life would be a lot easier if prosecutors would agree to drop a client's case because they're a great person or because they haven't been in trouble before. But that's just not reality. In order to persuade a prosecutor to drop a DUI case, you have to show them a weakness in that case if they were going to take it to trial. And our job is to find those weaknesses.
Here at Schaus Law Group, we've assembled some of the best DUI defense lawyers, traffic investigators, and forensic toxicologists in the business. We work together with one goal: fighting DUI cases. If you or a loved one has been arrested for DUI, I'm here to tell you that the situation is rarely hopeless. These cases are rarely open and shut. Call us here at Schaus Law Group. Tell us what happened. We'll see what we can do to keep the DUI off your record and to keep your driver's license intact.